Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Bill Snyder, Sports Information Director at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. Welcome to another edition of Bulldog Blitz. On location part 2, this time in Booneville, where the Bulldogs took on Northeast and win the game 28-14. With me, as always, Gulf Coast head coach Steve Campbell. Coach, this was the definition of a grinded-out victory. The running game and defense came in, got another W.
Yeah, it's great to go on the road and be able to get a W against a very good Northeast football team. They got a lot of talent up here. Both quarterbacks are 4- and 5-star athletes, and defense did a great job in the first half, pitched a shutout, and kept them in check in the second half. Offensively, we were able, I think we scored on 3 of our 4 possessions in the first half. Maybe one right before half we didn't get in, but we scored on 3 of our 4 full-time possessions in the first half. Pleased with that. Came out, I think we had a chance, or did we score on the first possession of the second half, make it 28. So we were on a little run there, but played well had 0 turnovers on offense, and played a very sound kicking game. So I was pleased.
Yeah, and only had 3 or 4 turnovers, too. So, it wasn't one of those you hear people talk about style points, but that's not going to matter 3 months from now. The Bulldogs are 4-1, and what matters is bounce back from last week, 28-14 with the win over Northeast. Coming up after the break, we'll take a look at all the action between the Bulldogs and Tigers here on Bulldog Blitz.
Hi, I'm Megan, and I'm going into nursing field, and I came to JD because it's very close to my house, and I figured that if I just want to do my basics, I can just go to university later.
Well, first at college, I picked the college that's really close to home. My dad worked at Chevron, and he always told me about it, got me really interested.
And it's close enough to home to where I still get a really great college experience, but I still feel like this is my home, like this is a place that I can be comfortable.
So it's the Bulldogs and Tigers from Booneville, and as we said, this was kind of a grinded-out game. The Bulldogs didn't get on the board till late in the first quarter. Colton Kane scored from 1 yard out to make it 7-0. Then in the second quarter, Antoine Wells had a huge game tonight, the first of his few touchdowns in the game from 9 yards out. So it was 14-0 with about 4 minutes to go in the second quarter, and right there the tone was already set that we were going to run the ball and play good defense, and that's pretty much how it played out in the first half up to that point.
Yeah, they were wherever Doc Hill went, they had a guy on top of him right in his face, and then they had a guy behind him, so he was definitely drawing double coverage. There was a lot of cover too, so that opened up the opportunity to run the football, and offensive line did a tremendous job. Both the Frigo boys did a tremendous job of blocking, big gains. Big John Stubbe, and Martinez Rankin will throw in Marlon Pope, and Easton Marshall, the fullback, did a great job of blocking for Antoine and Justin and Rod, and did a real good job there. Colton did a good job with his feet. Yeah. And made some big plays for us.
In fact, he had 2 rushing touchdowns in the first half. The second came late in the first half from 13 yards out. You were talking about Marlon Pope. I believe that was the drive it set up. We ran jumbo, and then Marlon got open to set up that touchdown. So we go in at halftime at 21-0 and in good shape. And like we said, the style points, it's not a 70-0 spread it all over, rush for, pass for 600 yards. But when you're up by 3 touchdowns at halftime and pitching a shutout, pretty good shape.
Yes, we've been in that situation before and was very pleased with the way that the guys held on. Wound up being a 14-point victory, and we had a chance to possibly tack on another one there at the end to get it back to the 3 touchdowns that we had at the half, and but was very pleased with the resiliency. We pitched a shutout in the first half, and then we gave up some plays in the second half, but the defense stuck together, bounced back, and then came up with some big stops in the second half. A couple of 4th down stops. That Jeremy Liggins is a good football player. It's a big kid. whenever you talk about a 300-pound quarterback, he is a 300-pound quarterback that can move. So we were able to we got him on the ground a couple of times and got pressure on him. So a lot of good things.
So we come out in the second half, it's 21-0, get the ball, drive it straight down the field. Another big run by Antoine Wells, setting up a touchdown pass. T.R. Page came in. Colton a little shaken up there in the third quarter, so Ishmael Morrow catches the touchdown pass on the slant, 28-0. That was a 14-yarder, and that was simple execution there, running and the nice slant for the score.
Yeah, that was a really well-thrown ball by TR and a great catch by Ish. Again, wherever you put Doc, that the safety they got a guy on top of him and the safety got over. TR did a great job of reading it, seeing the single coverage and really drilling one in there. And then Ish made a great catch, and that was a big play for us the way it turned out. Those were tremendous points. So that was a big time drive for us there.
Yeah, so it was 28-0 then, with about 11:16 to go. Northeast answered on that long touchdown run by Mitchell Cunningham, 64 yards. It was 28-7. Then a few minutes later, Liggins hit Stinson on a 56-yard touchdown pass. So it was 28-14 with 5:20 to go in the third quarter. And as far as scoring goes, not much after that. However, that means that the defense held. The offense was grinding it out. There were some big third down conversions by Wells, a couple by Page with his feet, and then the defense really shutting out Northeast from there. So you take away those two big plays, and it was basically a shutout. You throw in some sacks and some pressures, and just an overall solid win for the Bulldogs. And as we said, it's not one of those 56-3 things where you're putting up thousands of yards of offense, but at the same time, it's a victory, and one of those grinded out ones, blue collar, meat and potatoes, whatever you want to call it. Big win, a bounce-back win, too.
Yeah, it's a bounce-back win. It was a win that we needed, and it was a win that we got 5.5 hours from the house in the hostile territory. It is a win that, this team got beat by Jones by 6 and had a chance to beat Jones. The other undefeated team in our league is Colin, and this team played Colin to 9 points week 1. So for us to come up here on the road and win by 14, I'm pleased. We'll take it. Let's put it in the books and let's move forward.
Yeah, I hear you. That's about the way to sum it up right there. You talk about the resiliency of this team. We've had injuries and then other stuff happen. DeQuille's double covered, throws our passing game off. So we run the ball almost to perfection. That was, the way Antoine, you can't say enough about the way Antoine Wells ran the ball tonight. Just a career type of night. He was already leading the league in rushing, added to that tonight, and also, a couple of scores. Great job by Tweezy.
Yeah, Antoine's a great player. Antoine was a very talented guy when we got him, but his tremendous work ethic, drive, determination, he wants to be somebody special, and he is somebody special. Made some special plays today. He runs extremely hard. He's got I tell you who he reminds me a lot of Vic Ballard. Vic was not the most highly recruited guy coming out of high school, but we all know how well he went on and performed here and then at Mississippi State and then with the Colts. And Antoine Wells, I tell all the recruiters that come by, this guy's got something special about him, and he does, and it showed tonight.
So on the stock watch by Antoine Wells, his stock going up. Hey, Justin Brister ran it well. Rod Williams bounced back this week, had a nice job on special teams and running the ball. Then over on defense, the usual suspects, Cavellis Luckett, Trey Wofford making some nice plays, and Moncrief got back. Derek Moncrief back in action after some injury concerns. So those guys, almost back at full strength and seeing the defense step up.
It was good to have Derek back out there. He brings a little mojo, a little swag to the defense, gives some confidence. Josh was back. He's still not 100%, but he's still a really good football player, and he's getting closer and closer and closer. Cavellis played great tonight, because that team can really run the football. And other than I hadn't seen the film yet, but other than a long play or two, we did a good job of controlling their run game.
And one big play Talk about Darius Jones, too. Had one shot at Liggins. Remember, Liggins is 6'4", 295. Had one shot at him and missed him. Came back and still got the tackle. That was talk about perseverance.
Yeah, he showed a lot of fight and resiliency and got back off the ground and went and got him back on the ground. So, that Jared Lorenzen was a
we compared him to him in the game.
Yeah, that's who he reminds me of. You go, well, he can't do that. That kid's too big. No, he is a quarterback, and they're hard to get on the ground. And 300-pounders you're not used to tackling 300-pound guys. So very pleased with the way that the defense played.
Yeah, so the Bulldogs win it 28-14, upping the record to 4-1 on the season. As we said, 28-14, the final score. Now we're going to take a look at some of the other scores around the MGCCC heading into this next break here on Bulldog Blitz. A lot of games being played coming up on Saturday, but we had a few tonight as well. We'll take a look at those and have our player profile segment right after this.
I've had a great experience here at Gulf Coast, and I'm really glad I made the decision to come here.
Basically, a lot of family members came here, telling me good things about it.
I love it. The clinical experience, everything about it. I loved it. The teachers are great.
I also take a weekend class. You only meet 4 times a week, which is so much better for my schedule.
The classes are smaller, which means the teachers, can help you more easily.
I've gained the confidence that I am ready to go off and do great things.
You're watching Bulldog Blitz, sponsored this season by Raising Cane's, Jack's Home Improvement, The Shed in Gulfport, and the Whistle Stop in Wiggins. Now, back to more Bulldog Blitz. And welcome back to Bulldog Blitz. Well, this week, our player profile segment, we're going to do it live on location here in Booneville. We profiled Cavellis Luckett last year as a freshman. As a sophomore, having another terrific year, was MGCCC Defensive Player of the Week a couple of weeks ago. And Cavellis, another big win tonight. First, we'll talk about this game. Defense really stepped up. They hit on a couple of big plays, but overall, you guys held them in check, especially when you got a 295-pound quarterback running around. That's pretty tough. Talk about it.
Yes, sir. First of all, we come to practice. The practice hard. It started in practice to get better in process to beat the team we played tonight. But he's a very good quarterback that we had to stop, and the game plan was to stop him. And we just gave effort and played hard.
Now, as far as you're concerned, had a great year last year. This year, you're kind of the quarterback on the defense. Talk about that. You kind of stepped up as a leader last year. This year, talk about your role. You've had some big games, and, you and Trey, and you having Derek back, that had to help, too. Talk about you guys, some of the sophomores on the defense.
Oh, Trey Wofford, he's a good player. Derek Moncrief, he's a good player. The whole defense is a good player, but coaching them, on our season, coaching them was telling me, they want me to lead, and I'm a very good player, and I can lead it, and I can treat it as a quarterback to get us to a championship.
Is this your audition for a D1 school, you think, what we're doing here now?
Yes, sir.
I hear. I'm just messing with you. But what do you bring to the table for you? You came out, you got middle linebacker written all over you. What do you bring to the table here as we move on in this season and for your future, too?
To lead my defense and be a big-time player and get effort every play I get. Treat every play like it's my last.
Now, you remember, first game last year as a freshman against Coahoma, you pick off a pass and take it to the house right off the bat. Did you knew things were going to roll from right then?
Yes, sir. I knew that we were going to have a good season, but we come up short, but we got this year to make it up.
Now, we dropped that one last week, came back big this week. Still got a lot of football to go. Talk about what we need to do the rest of the season and what's the mindset of the team.
What we need to do, we gotta stay focused. We gotta, but it started, like I said, it started in practice. We gotta be there for each other and love each other and do what it takes to be a champion, and it'll all fall in place. As a leader, are you a tough love guy? Is that how you characterize it? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love my teammates. I do whatever for the man that's on side of me. I hear you. Well, Cavellis, I appreciate it. Great job tonight. Yes, congratulations. Terrific season going on. Cavellis Luckett, sophomore linebacker for the Bulldogs. Thanks a lot, Cavellis. Right, we appreciate it. So, as we said, the Bulldogs win it 28-14 over Northeast. Coming up after this break, Chalk Wars Part 2. Steve Davis and Steve Campbell going at it via
the grease board. But heading into the break, we'll take a look at the NJCAA top 10. The Bulldogs fall to number 10 in this week's poll. Still a lot of teams from Mississippi in that poll. You're watching Bulldog Blitz here on WLOX.
Programs here, they don't just give you the basic knowledge of the program, they teach you how to work with a client and go out in the real world.
All of my instructors have been a great help for me.
One-on-one experience that you need, and just always there to help you out when you need it.
You get that one-on-one interaction with your teacher. The teachers are very welcoming.
I really like the idea of being able to go to a smaller student-to-teacher ratio.
They teach you how to be confident, and that's a very useful skill that you can apply to anything.
And welcome back to Bulldog Blitz. Coming out of that break, we took a look at how our Gulf Coast soccer teams are doing as they're midway through their 2013 season. Now, we'll go back to the grease board, our second segment of Chalk Wars. Let's take a look at that right now.
Down to make it look like the power to the linebacker. Slide. You got in man on the line just like power. We run a vertical here and a vertical on the outside, trying to get the dog. Hard sweep play action here, trying to get the dog to come down and hit him in the seam. All right. If that's not the guy making the play on the sweep, then that play action's not going to be there. We've got a coach up in the box that's sitting there. Who made the play? I want to know who made the play. Is it this guy whipping the block? Is it this guy scraping hard? Is it the free? If the free's getting down hard, we're going to try to throw the post behind him. But the next thing we do, if we're running it, he's squeezing, we're getting a sweep outside, and this guy's making the play, we're going to come back with a vertical right off of it.
Offensive linemen are like your mother. They don't lie to you. So we're reading. With this down block, that looks like a run block. Our corner and free safety are the last two run defenders, because the play that the corner would have to make out here is going to take a long time for that ball to get here. So we're slow reading him, and if he sees pass, he'll take the vertical of one, and this vertical should run right into the free safety. Again, that's a Jimmy and Joe, and they got to read their keys and react as soon as their key tells them what to do.
And Coach, in our first Chalk Wars segment, we showed the basic dive play, and we were very successful with that play, by the way, tonight with Antoine Wells and Justin Brister. But how the offense evolves really out of that one play. When that works, then the sweep works. Yeah. Then you get into play action, and then that gives more headaches for the defense.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you got to start with something. Anytime that you're building an offense, you have to start with something, or otherwise you're just running a bunch of plays. Which play do you run? How would I know if I'm just calling plays? But if you start with something, then you can figure it out. What are they doing to stop it? So, we start with what you call the base dive. It's a power play up the middle, and then, then you've got the counter off of it, which if the linebacker overplays, you can run the counter off of it. If the safeties are coming down, you can run the play action off of it. If the end squeezing, you can run the power read off of it. And, we ran a little bit. Now, tonight, they were doubling Doc Hill. And they were giving us that play. That's why Antoine had such a big game, because, if they're as concerned about that play action, they're very worried about getting Doc Hill down the seam, so they have to take another guy out of the box, which really opens up that inside power play. We ran the counter quite a few times tonight because the backside linebacker was overplaying on the power. So now, if you notice, the super back was over here. He went backside and kicked out. So, you got to start with something and then figure out what are they doing to stop it, and then otherwise you're just calling plays, grab bag, and it's always bad. Anytime you use a system, then you hopefully have an answer for what it is that they're doing.
And you're talking about that counter play. It really was effective because the quarterback just delays just for a second, just enough to get the flow going, and that really broke open a couple of times.
Yeah, it did. That was a good play for us. The counter was good. The draw was good. So there were, we had some good stuff working. And again, a lot of Doc Hill only caught one ball. But if it was a big third down, kept us going right there, and we were able to run the clock on out. But I mean, they are really, really changing game plans to take him away. He scored 3 touchdowns last week. So, the guy was first team All-American so that you can't, he who stops everything stops nothing. And right now they're deciding this group said, hey, we got to take Doc Hill away, which fortunately we were able to execute well enough in the run game to score enough points to win. Some teams say, hey, we're going to stop the run. Then Doc Hill opens up. That Ish made a great, ran a great route. TR made a great throw. And on the pass play where they took Duke away. Colton pulled the ball down and ran because they ran with Doc Hill and Ish and Donovan. So, gave us a great run there right before the half, I think it was, and we were able to get on the board. So, again, it all depends on what they do to try to stop you.
And like Coach Davis talks about on defense, it's Jimmy's and Joe's tonight. Our Jimmy's and Joe's were pretty good.
Yeah, our Jimmy's and Joe's played really, really well. Really pleased with the way that they bounced back. I think for the most part they didn't get behind us, even the one that they caught. They got caught. It was a catch and run. It was a run after catch. And we need to fix that. But I was pleased with the fact the game was won in the first half. Now we had to finish. And I was pleased with the way we finished late, but the 21-0 got us to where we got our confidence back, got our mojo back on defense. Offensively, we were able to move the football, and to keep the defense off the field, I think that put some pressure on them. By us being able to run the football, it kind of got them in, really played into our hands. So a lot of good things.
Definitely. All adds up to that 28-14 win here against Northeast. Now, next week on the road again, not a 5-hour trip, more like a 25, 30-minute trip to our old adversaries over in Poplarville, Highway 26 battle, Gulf Coast and Pearl River, the 91st meeting coming up next week. We've talked about this many times here on this show. There's not many bitter rivalries more entertaining than this one. It goes way back. These games are always intense, a lot of jawing, a lot of intensity, and back in the South Division.
Yeah, it's a most important game because it's the next one. But also, I've been a part of Auburn, Alabama, and been a part of Ole Miss State, and there's not a bigger game out there than Gulf Coast Pearl River. So it's always exciting, fun to be a part of.
It's going to be a lot of fun next week over in Poplarville. Kickoff is at 7 o'clock. You can watch on MGCCC, Bulldogs.com. Also listen on 103.1 FM. By the way, we found out tonight's game was video streamed. We found out late in the week we were going to video stream it. More than 1,800 people watched Gulf Coast win it 28-14. So at this point, we're 4-1. Heading to Pearl River, back-to-back road games. We win this one, taking on Pearl River next week. Some final thoughts about tonight before we load up the bus and head home, Coach.
It's just a great win. We needed this one to bounce back. This group is like I say, these young men are we've been blessed over the years. We've had some tremendous young people that we've had the opportunity to coach. This is a very, very good group of young people, and really bounced back. A lot of leadership this week. The guys, we traveled 5 hours, first hotel trip. They did a great job in the hotel. A lot of
we talked about the bonding last week.
It happened. The people bragged about what great young men they were. I was very pleased with with the whole trip. They handled it like a business trip. you don't want to say beyond their years because you do expect them to, but they are 18, 19, 20-year-olds. But they came up here with a very, very focused attitude, displayed a lot of leadership, a lot of grit and determination, and it's like I'm pleased with a 28-14. But now there's some mistakes we need to correct, sure, but Alabama's got mistakes they need to correct, and LSU and Clemson does too. We're pleased to win 28-14. Now let's get back home. Let's start getting better. Let's look at the next one.
Amen to that. Thanks a lot, Coach. Gulf Coast wins it 28-14 here at Northeast. For Coach Campbell, Cavellis Luckett earlier, I'm Bill Snyder. Thanks as always for watching Bulldog Blitz. Have a great night and a great weekend. We are loading up the bus and headed home.
We're excited to have the golf tournament here at Great Southern this year. I mean, the course is in excellent shape. The new pro shop is very nice. We just toured it a minute ago. Very excited about cooperating and partnering with David Lee, who is the golf pro here. Just excited about the tournament scheduled for October the 18th. It's going to be a very nice tournament. We usually have enough gifts for everyone. That way, if you come in last place, you're still going to get something if you're in this tournament. So, $75 per person, $150 for two-man teams. So invite everyone to sign up. It's going to be a great event catered by the Shed of Gulfport. So looking forward to this tournament. We'll have a truck from Mandel on hole number 3 and R13, and a truck from Butch Osgood on 3 or 13. One of those holes will have a truck, a hole-in-one, an opportunity to win a free truck on holes number 3 or 13. So we're looking forward to that. And we've got Nevada Bob's involved with a free set of clubs. So like I said, a lot of opportunities for some to take home some really nice trophies.
Yeah, it's exciting to show off the improvements that we've done at the golf course, and to have the Hall of Fame alumni tournament here. It's a great location, and I think with the breeze coming off the water and everything like that, it's going to be it should set up for a really nice day. Generally, the weather's great. You don't have any rain, so the course is nice and dry, and the temperatures, hopefully the highs are in the low 70s, something like that. So it sets up for a really enjoyable day. We've done a lot to the golf course. It was in pretty bad shape. I came here in March, and the clubhouse wasn't completed. They started on it. Now it's completed, and it's really nice, doing very well. The golf course, the greens and fairways, which are what most golfers are looking forward to playing, the fairways are great, and the greens are really getting there. We're trying to put the great back in Great Southern, and I think we're on our way. The membership is up. We had single-digit members when I got here, and we're well into the hundreds. So I just hope things continue the way they are, because they're doing really good.
Hey, Josh. You gotta stay, do some depth, bro. Yeah. I came up, he ran that D. Oh, 1D line.
1D. Guys, don't give them nothing right here. We're play too good.
Hey, nothing tricky. Don't an easy one now. You understand?
Steve, what defense are you going to play?
We're going stack 8, then we'll check what everything.
I think you want Duke. You need Duke and playing deep middle. You're good. It's Duke outside to the top. All right, let's go right rock. Ish is inside. All right, let's go right rock. Let's go Vermont, 10-12 drive. Now listen, read the safety.
Side. Hey, good push. Right now, let's go.
Give me pro. Go Leopard Rock. I want to do it over here. Leopard Rock. Super Red 15. Leopard, get out.
Hi, I'm Megan, and I'm going into nursing field. And I came to JD because it's very close to my house. And I figured that if I just want to do my basics, I can just go to university later.
Well, first the college, I picked the college that's really close to home. My dad worked at Chevron, and he always told me about it, got me really interested.
And it's close enough to home to where I still get a really great college experience, but I still feel like this is my home, like this is a place that I can be comfortable.